Well, let me ask you about Bear With Me then. So, um, this song is probably one of the most anticipated songs from any, I mean that, of any local artist. Um,
Cheers, man. It's a nice little tune, like, yeah.
yeah, and I mean, everyone, people who come to the Belv open mic, the people who you played at the Monday Club as well,
Mm.
and these different venues, everyone knows this song, and I think, are you going to do a launch gig for it?
I don't know. Might do on like the second single, for example. So going in the studio soon again to record a new track, which is maybe even more anticipated if you want to use the word anticipated for Bear With Me. But I'm excited for the next one. But I'm always excited for this one, you know what I mean? But I don't know, maybe on the second single, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm not too sure. I haven't got a band, you know what I mean? Play with a guitarist, but apart from that, we don't have a drummer or bassist, really, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, but when you're putting it down in the studio, you've kind of conceived it as a full band track.
yeah, it's a full band track. It's got everything on it. So it's got like lead guitar, drum. It's got two guitars, drums, bass. You know, it's the full works. It's fucking sounds really big, you know.
Yeah, so, well,
Sorry,
just to lead on from that, like, when you kind of envision, like, the track, playing it live,
Yeah, no,
it stands up just as an acoustic song on its own.
Yeah,
You know, they
cheers, man,
say,
yeah.
like, a good song should be able to be played with just an acoustic guitar. And I think this has that quality, but also, as you say, like, there's some harmonies that you recorded and
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
down.
yeah,
You've really kind of
yeah.
gone all out with the track. So, no matter what, if you're just playing it at an open mic or you're going to play a gig, you can elevate it with all these different instruments. Like,
I'll always like this is like it's always like you play it on acoustic guitar, you write it on the acoustic guitar, whatever. For me personally, and then it can be as big as it wants. I want to play fucking stadiums, you know. I want to be fucking blowing the roofs off places. I don't want to be playing to fucking 12 people all my life, you know what I mean? I want to be playing to as many people as possible, and I want the tunes to be able to carry that. I want to be able to be like able to play the acoustic guitar those songs just and then they hold up in front of that many people, you know what I mean? I know it's a very hard thing to do, and it's like it's probably not about the tunes, it's about a lot of other things, but you got to have the tunes to be able to. That's why Oasis is so successful, because they could play to fucking 300,000 people like that instantly.
yeah, it translates to all these different sizes of audience.
Yeah,
Like,
it's I don't know, the best music does that clearly. I mean, like, you just look at Glastonbury, all these like people getting these crowds, and it's not about the music, as it's about everything else. But you got to have songs which people can sing. It's got a good, it's got something about it, and it draws people there. I don't know.
well, I think your song has that. This song, I've heard a bunch of your songs, but this one in particular really gets a reaction from people, and it's requested all of the time.
Yeah,
Where people are like, "Play that song, please."
yeah,
again,
it's nice. It's humbling, because it's like you want every song to be like that. You know what I mean? You want to write every song and that be that reaction. But that's just, it's like kicking a ball against the wall. It's just how many times you're going to do that. When the kid who goes in and the kid who stays for 2 hours, you know what I mean? The kid who stays for 2 hours is going to be better at footy than him. It's just, I don't know, the more you do something, the better you be. And then the more times you do write a song, 1 out of those 10 times, it's going to be an alright one, and people are going to like it.
Well, I've seen someone ask you before about this song, about the writing of it. They said they assumed it come together really easily because it just kind of, everything just fits so well.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's what, you want a song to seem like, you don't want it to seem like it was hard to write or something, but I think you said that it was actually difficult and it took time to piece it together.
Yeah, 100%, man. Songs are like, I remember Calvin asking me, man, it's, like I don't know what like artists use to like sculpt things out of. It's just like you just get locked with like this piece of material and you need to sculpt it, and that's a song. Like, you've got the song there, but you just need to fucking work it out, It's very hard. Bruce Springsteen said he wrote Born to Run in like 6 months, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I hate when people say, like, "Oh, I just knocked off this tune." Did you really, though? You know what I mean? Or if you had it for 6 months and you just haven't really finished it off until like 2 days ago, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's a new song for me, 6 months. It takes about 6 months to write every tune, you know what I mean? You got to let them marinate.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, how long have you been playing this song now? Like, since you wrote it?
I wrote it in January, February 2021. So it's like 2 and a bit years old. But I didn't start initially playing it till maybe like a year and a half. Like a year ago maybe. I'm not too sure. Maybe a bit more than that. Maybe a year and a half. Something like that. I don't know really. Ever since the lockdown, you can't come back, and then lockdown was a blessing in disguise for me, really. My songwriting just went like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people had that same kind of feeling. But I mean, with you being so young still as well, and having this quality of track,
Fucking so young, lad. I don't
you
fucking
are, man,
feel
fucking
it.
compared to me.
I know, but you know what I mean.
Like,
I wouldn't say you're fucking not young, you know.
yeah, but I mean, like, for example, the Beatles pretty much broke up by the time they were 30.
Yeah, it's a different world back then, man. I
Um,
think you leave school like 14, you're down the coal mine or something, aren't you? It's
Exactly.
just fucking a different world.
But I mean, a lot of musicians get into their most creative period in the mid-20s,
Mm.
and you're like still entering that phase, and it's like seems like there's like a bright future in terms of the songs that you can write in the next 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, I hope
Do you,
so,
do you
yeah.
feel that?
Yeah, I hope so, 100%. I felt like when I was like 15, 16, something like that, I was just like, I want to be the best songwriter in the fucking world, you know what I mean? I mean, it's something which I can't not do. It's just fun. It's fun. It's pure joy. It's great.
So you do it like even just to sit down and write a tune. It's like entertainment for you as well as
100%,
being
yeah.
like a motivation to like.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Tunes are just like, if you can write a song, nobody can say shit to you. You know what I mean?
You
Just
can
like, say
please
something.
yourself, like.
I'm not, you know, it's the game I'm in, and it's like, you know, if you want to be good, you got to put your time and effort in. And I do put my time and effort in because I do enjoy doing it. It's fun, you know. It's addictive. So once you realise you're getting better, it's great. When you realise like you can play a set which you dreamed of playing when you were 16, you wouldn't be able, you couldn't do that in a million years, and you can do it. It's just like you can do anything then, can't you? Really, as long as you keep your head straight and keep learning stuff and keep reading and whatnot. You can write tunes until you're fucking 60, I see, and still be fucking really fucking good. I mean, it kind of does seem to dip for people at certain ages, but I think that's just because they're just not asked anymore.
Right, they haven't got the motivation. It doesn't mean that they, if you're not motivated at that age, then, you're not going to get up and write another great song. But if you're still passionate about what you're doing, you could write into well old age. Your singing style, is it something were you just the first day when you started singing, you could sing like that, or you had to develop it?
100% had to develop it. I couldn't sing. If you ask anybody who I grew up with if I could sing, nah, they just laugh at you. But no, it just takes. It's like anything, isn't it? You just do something. You want it enough, and you just got to keep going, haven't you? You got to keep practicing. I don't know. It's like anything. The more you do something, the better you'll be. It's simple, really, isn't it? When you think about it.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to know that, like, I want to do that. You know what I mean? I'm blessed.
Well,
I don't say that ever, but you know what I mean? I'm blessed.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've heard multiple people make a comment about, you've got a way of singing the notes that's like a very characteristic vibrato.
Yeah, it's just give it beans.
Yeah.
I don't know how to sing.
Yeah, no, I think you sing really well, but what I mean is to say that, like, you can know it's your voice straight away.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just to use an extreme example, like, Freddie Mercury had a very distinctive voice.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
saying
it's Freddie Mercury, but I'm saying that there's singers like that, where as soon as you hear them, you're like, oh, that's Ollie Felton, you know what I mean?
It's the tunes, though. It's the tunes, really. It's like because I mean it, you know what I mean? I mean it, you know what I mean? No, it's because I write my own songs. I think it would just come across that. If I only sung covers, I would sound like Jason Derulo or something like that, you know what I mean?
Right, you'd be impersonating someone else.
Yeah.
Whereas with your own songs, you're like, this is my style and my authentic. You've got your own way of writing them and singing your songs that's dead kind of characteristic.
Cheers, man.
I mean, a lot of artists will want that, you know what I mean? Because you start out probably like emulating a musician that you admire.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like trying to do a Beatles song and you're trying to sing like John Lennon or Paul McCartney, or you're doing an Oasis song, you're trying to sing it like Noel Gallagher sings it. But then at some point in your progression as a songwriter, you've like locked into like, this is how I do my style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you feel you've found that and you're in a groove with it.
As I say, the pandemic was a blessing in disguise because there was nothing else to do except go into my garage and write songs. I only started becoming, I'd say, all right when I was in the 2020. I think I put like 3 or 4 years into doing it, in like college and after college, to be like, I can do this now. You know, I've found like that's like undeniably good. You know what I mean? I don't know how good it is. I just know it's good. You know what I mean? And I just leave it then. So I write Bear With Me, for example. Yeah, great. On to the next one. You know, it's I'm proud of that song, but it's not. I'm no prouder than if you could compare it to any other song.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So in terms of writing different songs and developing towards like possibly an album soon, would you think of like all your tracks? Do you want them to all kind of sound similar and fit together, or are you trying to like, when you write a song, you're like, okay, now let me try something completely different, like a different tempo or a different vibe, or how much, do you put thought into that?
I just let it happen. It's I don't think about it. I don't think about like, I'm open to all like the music and like changing things and stuff like that. But I think it's like, if I just stay true to writing the songs, like it would happen naturally, It'd be a natural progression, because it has been a natural progression. I can see that happening, and it's just like, you listen to different artists, you write different tunes, you stop listening to them for a while, and you go on to it's just a natural thing. I try and keep it as organic as possible. I try and not think about it as much as possible.
Right, because I think if you overthink it and you're like too like specific, like songs are like moods and energies. So if you just try and tap into like, what is this mood that I'm chasing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Bear With Me has this kind of it's like a nostalgic, sort of melancholic, happy, sad. Like, it's hard to pin down. It's a bit like, maybe a bit like some of the Beach Boys stuff from Pet Sounds.
I'll take that, man.
I mean,
Pet Sounds, yeah.
Yeah, I mean like that. Like, there's something like idyllic and also kind of haunting about it.
Yeah,
Does that come across to you?
Yeah, it's just a nice little tune. I don't know. As I say, I try not to think about it. It's just, you just start playing these chords. I had the chords, I don't know, for like 2 weeks. I had a bit of like the lyric maybe. I can't really remember writing the lyrics. It just happened. It's just like, I remember thinking Bear With Me. If you bear with me, oh, yeah, that's right. That'll fit there. It's just, if it fits and it makes kind of sense. If it makes sense to me, that's all I'm bothered about.
Well, so does the music come first and then the words come later?
It happens at the same time, really. It just happens, you know what I mean? I don't really write the tunes down either. It's just like, I'll keep picking the guitar. If I play every day, I'm always, if I add just a word here or a word,
you don't write down the lyrics as you're
Nah,
just kind
really,
of like, you sing it enough times until you know it exactly.
Yeah, I've got like the pads and all that. I do write stuff down. I do, like, once I've like done it, I try and write it out. But it's just like, my handwriting's awful, It just takes too long. I just remember it.
Do you ever have like a moment where you're about to fall asleep or you're in the shower and like a lyric comes to you and you've got to run and write it down?
Yeah.
That happens
Yeah,
too?
it happens all the time, but it's just like, wasn't meant to be then, was it? I don't know. It's, yeah, maybe I'm missing out on some tunes like that, but no, I do write things down, but 9 times out of 10 they're worthless, just nonsense. You look back at when you wake up and you think, well, how was I?
Oh God, I know exactly what you mean.
Like, what's that?
Yeah. So have you got an idea for a release date around about?
End of August, hopefully. End of August. I know it's the 1st of August today, so I better get fucking moving, But yeah, end of August, hopefully. I've recorded a video. Me and a lad called Scott Holmes, I've known for all my life, really. Never really spoken to him until recently, but he lives down the road from me, and he's a cinematographer, or whatever you call him, and he's made a cracking video, so I think I'm going to release the video, release the single, and then maybe on the next single do a gig. But time will tell. We'll keep moving, we'll be alright. Keep smiling, we'll be alright.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to be released. They say that with Spotify, when you're going to put it out, you want to give it at least 3 weeks for the curators to put it on a playlist.
Oh yeah.
So don't like put it out like in a week's time or so. Give it time for Spotify to like listen to it, and they can put it on a good playlist, and it'll get way more views.
If they hear that and they think that's fuck it, I'll be amazed. I really will. I'm not. It's not that I can't. There's people out there who've got 1 million followers on this Instagram, what have you, and there's people who've got 50,000 followers, and the people who are genuine with 50,000 followers get the #1 albums in the UK, and these people who are massive on TikTok and whatnot don't. That says a hell of a lot to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, what's your approach to like marketing? So like for this song, are you like gonna be
Play it live, man. Play it live.
play it
Just
live.
fucking play it to anybody and everybody will listen. If you play it live and it's a good song, that's all you can do. I'm not gonna fucking shine your shoes and hand you like my little card or something after it. They'll be like, oh wow, we shine my shoes, he must be good. You know, I'm not. You know, that's not my vibe. I do it. I do the Instagram and things like that. I just, as I say, you just gotta. What about get out there?
What about TikTok?
I've never used TikTok.
I mean, do you reckon you're gonna end up on there?
Maybe,
eventually?
yeah. Do you know what? I get all the platforms. I get like the Twitter and whatnot and the Facebook. I've got these things, but I don't use them. So I'll get them on there. I'll give it beans, like, but it's not my sole purpose in life. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be like hit or miss for me. I know I'm all right musically. You know, just got to keep playing. Some gigs are awful. Some gigs are good. Got to keep going. I'm not bothered about what somebody says on YouTube comments about me singing or me dancing or what have you. You know, if my dance moves aren't good or you know, it doesn't really. I don't know. It must bother people if like they're really famous and like people know you in the street and they give you abuse and whatnot. That must be horrible. But the internet, you know.
Well, speaking of like putting yourself out there on the internet, do you get any kind
I'm
of
slagging the internet off here. Sorry, man.
Nah, they're all going to be coming for you.
Fuck you.
Do you feel ever uneasy about putting yourself out there, like clips of yourself singing? Or I know it was tough for me. I mean, sharing a clip of myself singing is still hard because I mean, I don't know, like, you know,
because it's you. It's
personal.
Yeah.
Singing is personal. Especially if you're not like joking, if you're really trying to sing something meaningful, and you're like, "Oh, this is me singing." Like that's difficult. You know what I mean? But do you
it's hard,
feel
yeah.
that, like...
It's because it's a personal thing, and it means something to, and it's you doing the thing. It makes it 10 times harder. Whereas if you're watching somebody do the exact same thing you were doing, you'd be like, "Great."
Yeah.
It's all in the mind. It's all about.
And even if it's not that good, everyone needs to develop and get better.
Yeah.
So part of getting better is putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
So you just got to get over it.
It's if you can, as I say, you can't fake it live. So like, if you can play live, you're all right. You know, that's why all these like artists in the '60s are great because they could play live and they were really good live and they knew what they were doing and all they could play off each other and all that. Nowadays, like. You know, not to slag any bands off, but they're just not the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same groove. It's not the same dynamic. It's not the same musicianship. It's just not the same. And that's because people don't play live as much, and I don't play live as much. So probably, but it's like I still give it beans. You know, you got to get out there. These people are playing like 8 days a week. You know, fucking to quote the bad boys. But yeah, they were, weren't they? They were playing in Hamburg. That's what made them really good because they were playing in Hamburg for ages, like 3 sets a night, just playing all the time. You know, if you can't play the guitar and you played live every single day for a year, you will be great.
Right.
In that year. If you just stayed in your bedroom and played for 10 years, you wouldn't be as good. I don't know. It's my thinking about it. You can't fake it, can you? Live is where it's at. If you do a bum set, you do a bum set. Everybody does a bum set. But you're annoyed at yourself and you're going to go back the next week and you're going to give it more beans and you're going to be better. And it makes you better for it. You've got to keep turning up. It's that old cliche thing, just keep turning up or just do whatever, you know what I mean? It's simple, but it's fucking very difficult. You know what you gotta do, you just gotta go and do it. It's hard. It's like life, you know? Anything is hard, innit?
Well, I'm looking forward to this single coming out. And then, you know, get another couple tunes in the go and get a release gig for you. I think there's gonna be so much support from people in the local scene, as I say. I mean, your songs come across so well.
Cheers,
every time when you play them live.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
And then if there's like a new person in the room, you can see them being like, "Oh my god, what's this tune?" You know what I mean? So like,
I just like, you know, it's fun, isn't it? The scene is just great. I love, like, we wouldn't be doing this right now if we didn't play music, or if I didn't play music.
Yeah, I wouldn't have met any of these people who I've been speaking to. I would never have met you if we didn't go to the Bell on the same night one day. You know what I mean?
It's great. It's changed my life. It's changed my life for the better. It's not because I want to be fucking rich and famous. That will fucking, you know, that's another thing, you know what I mean? I just like having a pint and maybe a little something else, maybe a little joint with your mates and playing music.
And playing, like, listening to your mate's song and then playing your song.
Isn't it?
With. Yeah,
you know what I mean? You go to the Belvedere and you're sitting there and I'm watching you play, what's it, the omnichord?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Why would I want to be watching the telly? I could just come here and watch this, you know what I mean?
And it is, I think it's addictive, isn't it? When you're like, when you start getting into the groove of going out and seeing everyone, these are your new mates and stuff, you know what I mean? Like,
it's a great vibe. It's a nice time. Everybody's welcoming. Everybody's just happy to be there, you know, because there's booze and there's, you know, great music, and that's the key. The great music. We've all got great tunes, and it's just fun because it's undeniable. Because you're seeing something live. And when you see it live, and if it was shit, we've seen it all the time. But that's fine, you know what I mean. We've all been there. But it's like when you see a good tune. Like when I watch what Johnny Witherspoon do like Dublin on My Mind or like Christmas Art, I'm like, that's undeniable.
yeah,
That's
it is,
it.
isn't it?
Undeniable.
And I mean, speaking of John, I mean, like John and yourself, some of the artists who you see, and you like can't believe they're not playing big festivals.
It's just what
like
it is.
it's the level of talent and songwriting is like really outstanding.
It's great, yeah. It's everybody just pushes everybody else, and that's only good. You know, there's no competition in the sense of like, you know, that's shit, mine's great. You know, it's not like that. It's just like, that's boss, and this is boss. So we're boss.
I'll be honest, the first couple of times I'd seen certain artists, I didn't half get jealous, you know.
I think
the
that's
first,
natural.
no, it's like the first couple of times, and it's something you get out of, because like, you can't help when you've just been playing in your room for years, and you come out, you're like, oh, is this person better than me or not? That was my first, like, just being honest. And then after a couple of times, like, you know, you're just appreciating them as an artist. You can't do what they do, and they would never do what you do.
Yeah.
So there's no point comparing.
Yeah.
But like that, there's a couple of people, I won't even say who, where I'd seen them and I was like, fucking bastard, fucking I'm shit, aren't I? You know what I mean?
Everyone needs to be humbled once in a while.
Yeah, but not only does it humble you, it kind of gives you an incentive to improve.
100%,
You'll see someone's finger picking style, like John Lindsay. I'll see his finger picking, and I'll be like, I need to fucking practice.
Yeah,
because I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
he could be doing that about like making a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Little sugar. You know, he could all day.
Yeah.
He's a
and
natural.
Then with like a group of musicians who you get an influence from all of them, you can't help but be like, oh, I want to learn how to do that. I want to sing like that. I want to play like that. And it raises your songwriting game as well.
100%, like, yeah. When you see somebody write a good tune, it's a new tune, like you're just like, shit, I got to get a move on here. I've got to get home and write a tune now, which is better than that, you know. It is like a friendly competition thing, but that's great, you know. It just makes everybody better.
Yeah, man.
Makes everything better. They're enjoying this, aren't they?
Yeah, man. Well, it's a pleasure to speak to you. And keep your eyes peeled for this song. It's going to be coming out in about a month's time or so. We're going to be dropping some reels, dropping a couple of clips.
About this, yeah?
Yeah. We'll put out the full interview on YouTube. But
lovely, yeah.
There'll be a couple of reels we'll put out on Instagram and stuff like that. We'll put them out in the lead up to the the single launch.
This is going to probably be awful. Sorry about that, man.
Nah, man, it's fucking boss.
No, I like the cathedral. This is actually my back garden.
Yeah.
This is where I live. This is just like, that's it, yeah. That's my house.
Boss, well,
2 bedrooms.
can you clap on the camera just so that I can...